when shaping our vision for what we wanted the paddle plant to look like, it's really important to us that community is the driving factor. You need to build a community around these two social sports, or else people aren't going to want to stay there, aren't going to want to come to your place. And that's super important because we're sharing these sports with everyone. We're sharing this atmosphere in this building, which is unbelievable with everyone. And so it's very important to us that we foster this community, but also build it in a way where this community can thrive on its own without us having to really do much of it, put much of an effort there. So with that, me personally, we've seen almost a loneliness epidemic coming across our country. People are more distant than ever, especially with the pandemic that really exacerbated the issue. And so you take people are getting more into wellness, they're getting more into their physical health, their mental health, and you take all of these things, you put them in a building where you're getting active, you're with your friends, you're meeting new people, and you're having this social engagement where your mental health is going to be better, your physical health is going to be better. And we're really hoping to bring together this community where you can come, whether it's on your run, whether you're meeting friends, or whether you're trying to find new friends. This is the place for you. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to put a smile on everyone's faces and have a place that you can really call yours, where you can really belong to as a member of the community.
Yeah, and with both sports being playable from 5 to 75, plus a host of exciting food and beverage options, there's really something for everyone here.
You're listening to America's Healthiest City on Mike King Biz Radio Network on ESPN Richmond 106.1 and Choice 105.3. Welcome to America's Healthiest City on ESPN Richmond 106.1, part of the Mike King Biz Media Network. You can catch us each week here on the network at 6 a.m. on Thursdays. Today we are in the studio with Alex and Sam Nordheimer, the co-founders of Padel Plant, going into the old Halleck's plant down on the Canal Walk. This is going to be an exciting conversation, but before we get into it, if you are new to the program, please visit americashealthiestcity.com to learn about our 10-year community partnership to make all of RVA the healthiest region in America by 2033. It requires everybody's input and everybody's energy. We have to work together toward a single goal if we want to see this happen. So we invite folks in the community to come in, leave their ideas on the ideas board, leave comments on the ideas board on the website, and check out the media that we've been creating for the last year so that we can bring us all together for this. Without further ado, though, I want to bring on Alex and Sam. Gentlemen, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. I'm sure all of Richmond is eager to hear more about your plans. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us and a nice introduction.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited to be here.
Great. Well, this will be an easy conversation for you all, and even though it's new, I think what we find about Richmond is that this is the space that we come together and learn about one another and find out, that we all have something to contribute. So I'm excited about what you guys have to contribute. And, before we get into the deeper conversation, one thing we invite everybody to share is, whether you're a native to Richmond or whether you came here at some point. And, we'll start with each of you. I know that you both started in the same place, so maybe you share that story as well.
Yeah, so we're twins, not identical if you couldn't tell, but we definitely started in the same place. And that place is Bethesda, Maryland. That's been our home for the last 20 years. And now we're in the process of moving to Shockoe Slip, right near the building. So we're super excited about coming and living in Richmond. We just love the neighborhood and everything about the city.
Yes, we graduated from college. I graduated from Elon last spring. Sam graduated from the University of Maryland last winter. And since then, we've been working really hard on this business plan, and we're just excited to finally move down here and really get active in the community and start making friendships, but also just really get involved.
So why Richmond?
It's a great question. I think there's a lot of reasons why Richmond. First of all, we found the most incredible building ever. And for this business, it's just perfect. Alex will tell you, but we really strongly felt that we wanted to be in an urban environment for this building. A lot of these paddle and pickleball clubs you'll see are sort of out in the suburbs or even farther in industrial buildings, and it's a long drive to get to them, and then you play and you go home. For us, we're all about creating a third place. The first place being your home, the second place being your work, and the third place being somewhere you spend time with people. And so we want people walking on the canal walk, coming from work in downtown and hanging out with us all day long. And besides that, Richmond has an amazing culture of artists, an amazing culture of food, which might be my favorite part. And we just love hanging out in the city, and we're super excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, we began our search looking in and around the DC area. We couldn't really find anything that we liked. We expanded our search. And when we saw the Haxel plant, we were just shocked, honestly. I instantly emailed Sam. I was like, this is the one. We have to make this happen. Because you look at the pictures and you see the murals, you see the architecture, the scale of the building. It fit every bill. It's right on the canal walk downtown. And then for Padel specifically, you need high ceilings and you need wide columns. And luckily the building has no columns, massive ceilings. And so now it's being talked about as one of the most impressive Padel projects across the country. So finding this location was the luckiest thing we could have come across. And since then, we've only grown to love Richmond more and more as we've made connections throughout the community, as we've learned more about the building, the neighborhood, the canal walk. It's a really special place, and we're really humbled to be able to take this project and share it with everyone.
Yeah, everyone's been extremely welcoming, and we're thankful for that.
Well, I know that this is, sort of a crown jewel, if you will, for the city's economic development department. I mean, they were interested in bringing life to this, space that has, really not had life other than just people walking through there. I'm personally, I think it's exciting, and that area is ripe for activity and excitement. So I'm really excited for you guys. Tell us, let's back up a little bit. People don't wake up one day and just say, I'm going to go open up a paddle, board place, paddleball place, a pickleball place. So let's start there. Where was the inspiration for this? Where did you guys fall in love with these sports, and where did it start?
Right. So we first played pickleball actually in middle school gym class, but then we went many, many years without playing. And then it was really in the pandemic where this game caught fire in the U.S. And I think a lot of people had that same experience. It was actually our Uncle Rod who became addicted. When I say that, I mean like 150 days in a row. Sorry to our aunt, but he's missing dinner. He's playing pickleball. And so he kind of instilled that bug in us and got us playing every day. So we loved pickleball. And then in 2021, our friends took us on a trip, which was very nice. And we found these paddle courts. And we're like, oh my God, we've got to try this, because we'd seen highlights on social media, and anyone who's seen it knows how insane this game looks. So we went and played and immediately fell in love, played for 2 hours or something every day after we played and played and played. And then the trip ended and it was time to go home, and we realized, oh my God, there's nowhere near us to play. And not only that, there were very few courts in the entire country. So it started as a desire from us to just want to play this game we fell in love with. But then we realized, hey, there might be an opportunity to introduce this to a much wider audience.
Well, it's a big step for a first-time entrepreneur, so I'm excited about that. Tell me a little bit about your colleges. So you guys split up, went separate ways for a little bit there. What'd you study, and did any of that contribute to what you decided to do post-graduation?
Yeah, I mean, finally we were able to split up. I went to North Carolina, and I graduated with a finance major. And Sam?
Yeah, I was at the University of Maryland in College Park, and I also had a degree in finance, and I also studied philosophy. So the financial side was very helpful in being able to get a group of investors together and convince them we actually knew what we were doing somewhat as a couple of young guys. And maybe the philosophy helped in thinking through this, I don't know. But it's been interesting.
Well, there's a lot of intention around building a third place,
right?
So there's probably some alignment there.
Mm-hmm.
So you've tapped into these two sports, and they've been exploding in popularity. It's a great social sport. They're great social sports. Can you share a little bit more about how you guys see bringing a diverse group of Richmonders to your space? How do you intend to engage them when they're there? What are some of the opportunities that they'll have to learn more about you and experience it, I guess?
Yeah, so when shaping our vision for what we wanted the Padel plant to look like, it's really important to us that community is the driving factor. You need to build a community around these two social sports, or else people aren't going to want to stay. They aren't going to want to come to your place. And that's super important because we're sharing these sports with everyone. We're sharing this atmosphere in this building, which is unbelievable with everyone. And so it's very important to us that we foster this community, but also build it in a way where this community can thrive on its own without us having to really put much of an effort there. So with that, me personally, we've seen almost a loneliness epidemic coming across our country. People are more distant than ever, especially with the pandemic that really exacerbated the issue. And so you take people are getting more into wellness, they're getting more into their physical health, their mental health, and you take all of these things, you put them in a building where you're getting active, you're with your friends, you're meeting new people, and you're having this social engagement where your mental health is going to be better, your physical health is going to be better. And we're really hoping to bring together this community where you can come, whether it's on your run, whether you're meeting friends, or whether you're trying to find new friends. This is the place for you. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to put a smile on everyone's faces and have a place that you can really call yours, where you can really belong to as a member of the community.
Yeah, and with both sports being playable from 5 to 75, plus a host of exciting food and beverage options, there's really something for everyone here.
Yeah.
Well, I have to share a personal detail. I met my wife years ago, but our very first date, we lived in Williamsburg. I took her to Richmond, and we have a photograph of ourselves on the 14th Street Bridge, right outside of the front door of your new space. And 9 years later, we went back and took the same photo. So if you find my Instagram account, you'll see the split image of us as babes and then older folks. But that area holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah.
And that was before I even moved here. So it's continued to be a real gem. Congratulations on finding the space. So let's talk about that. But real quick, you're listening to America's Healthiest City on ESPN Richmond 106.1, part of the Mike King Biz Media Network. If you're not following us on socials, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel at America's Healthiest City. Same thing on Instagram. If you're not following us there, you can catch short clips and full episodes. Today we have Alex and Sam Nordheimer from the Padel Plant. It's a new sporting venue that's going to come into town, and you guys are planning to open. What's your date?
We're hoping to be open towards the end of this summer.
Oh, wow. That's really fast.
Yeah.
Really fast. Okay, great. Well, let's talk a little bit about the space. How did you come about this space? I know you said you talked about your search, but how this particular space? How did it land in your lap?
Well, that was all Alex.
Well, yeah, so after we found the building, we reached out to the owners, Cordish, and while working to figure out, if we could lease the space, buy the space, it turned out that we would have to buy it, so we had to then go ahead and put together a group of strategic investors, partners in the Richmond area, and we were very lucky, which we found some really amazing partners who have been so influential in making this happen. Honestly, I don't think we would be here without them, so they've been really helpful, specifically Drew Wiltshire. And with that, we were able to purchase the building as a group this January. And since then, it's just been an all-out process to try and open this thing up as soon as possible, because this really, paddle specifically, is a sport that's so unavailable at the moment. You have to go hours in this direction or that direction to play it. And at the end of the day, this is really what we want to share paddle with Richmond, because it is just an amazing experience.
And Alex actually found the building for the first time on CoStar's platform, who we're excited to welcome as our neighbor in the coming years.
Yeah. Well, that whole area is just, to be able to walk right down the canal to see a concert over at the new amphitheater.
It's so exciting.
It's a really exciting place to be, and also to these developers, but also the people who've chosen to live in these apartments. We're just happy to also play a major role in their day-to-day lives, because they now have this other option for food, for drink, for socializing, for engagement, for activity that just wasn't an option before. And hopefully, as they've kind of made it possible for us to come in, we make it possible for more smart and gentle development to come into the area and really see the Canal Walk thrive with the potential that it always has had.
So you guys are working hard to engage the community. You're new here, but you're diving right in. It's Earth Month. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing to kind of engage your community closest to you.
Yeah, so sustainability is important to us. This is a building that we're combining these trends of wellness, mental health, physical health. So with that, we're doing with Keep Virginia Cozy, Canal Walk area cleanup coming later this month. So we're inviting a lot of friends, a lot of people we're working with to come together to really clean up the area, because it's summer, people are using it more than ever, and it deserves to be clean and spotless so everyone can enjoy it in all of its beauty.
Yeah, our building is nestled right between the canal and the James River, and the natural beauty of the area plays a big role into your experience when you come in. So we're doing our part to keep it nice.
So the sports, at least pickleball, newer sport for everybody. What's the future hold? Tell us a little bit about what you think as far as maybe 10 years down the road for these sports and for you guys here in Richmond. Like, what's an ideal world? What would you like to see happen?
Well, I think in general, these sports are going to continue to see a lot of growth. Pickleball, as probably most of your listeners know, has just exploded in the United States, and I think Padel is falling behind. Currently, there's around 300 courts in the United States, and they're estimating by 2030 will be around 10,000 courts. So we're talking about pretty insane growth. Now, hopefully that growth is sustainable. Sweden, for example, had issues where they overbuilt and they didn't focus on community. They just put them in warehouses and hoped people would show up. And sometimes those clubs didn't succeed. That's why we have a very strong ethos in our company of focusing on building an atmosphere that people want to be in. The sports in general, I think it's almost like a less stuffy country club sport of the future. Something where people can get together and hang out and play a sport after work at a more affordable and more fun environment than you would if you're going to play golf for 4 hours, for example.
So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I really should have been a finance major and stuck with college. I didn't finish. Tell us a little bit about your view on sports in the finance world. Not necessarily getting financing, but just it's a big business. I don't know that people really always understand how much there is in sports. What kind of, in your research, did you find that was really compelling? You guys obviously are kind of structured in how you must think about these things if you do want somebody to back you. So what were some of the motivations on the financial front?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a ton of push towards this sport, entertainment, and sports and entertainment, sports and food concepts going around the country. Some have been really successful and really popular. And we looked around Richmond and we've seen a couple really good examples, with River City Roll being one, and there's a couple other options as well that have been very successful at combining this entertainment, this sport, this activity with really good quality food as well. So when thinking about it from the financial perspective, it's really important that you combine the two. And it also, again, it plays into this community building and really third place mentality where we are welcoming people to stay as long as they want, really do work with us, eat with us, hang out with your friends with us. And you have to have all these offerings for that to happen. And I think that's where we approach it from is, what can we do to make this the best experience throughout the day, from the morning to lunch to the afternoon to the night, for as many people as possible.
Yeah, and also if you look at sort of general or long-term trends, you have more people working remotely, you have more people doing hybrid work. So people are spending less time in the office and they're trying to fill that time, hopefully being active. And it's become a very popular trend, and people want to be fit, but more importantly, they want to have fun while becoming fit. So that's why these different sports concepts have been a huge success.
So on the numbers front, do you guys have kind of a sense for like what your immediate population is around there, and how many people you anticipate seeing in a month's time when you guys get opened up? I mean, are you thinking hundreds, thousands? Like what's possible?
1,000 sounds good to me. No, it's in the downtown area, so the daytime population changes based on who's coming in and out of the offices, but we'll have 5 paddle courts and 2 pickleball courts. And you have 4 players per court on all of them. So you don't need a massive number of people coming in for the facility to do well. So we expect that with the city's general excitement around these sports, I mean, this is a racket sports city. It always has been, and I think it always will be. We'll have no problem filling the place up.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, there is the close population nearby, but there's also a lot of parking in the close vicinity where people are able to drive in, they're able to bike, park with us, under a covering, and that's easy, or a walk by, which is also a great option for the local community.
And I don't know if you have it all figured out yet, but just to kind of give folks a sense, I've heard club thrown around a couple of times. Is this sort of a membership type opportunity, or people be able to come in kind of one-off? How do you see that happening?
Yeah, maybe it's better to refer to it as a paddle and pickleball concept than a club. We're not by no means a membership-only club. Anyone is welcome to come in. We do offer memberships that essentially allow you to get discounts. So if you're someone who likes to play 4 or 5 times a week, it's to your benefit to just sign up, and then it will be cheaper over the course of time. But it's not a membership keeping people out.
Yeah, and it's very important along this pedestrian corridor in the downtown that people are able to walk in, drop in, and be able to play. Yeah, not really a membership club in that sense.
Good. Well, that's good for folks to know. And you said end of summer. Like, you've got your plans drawn up, your architectural plans, and
yes,
what about permits? Are you guys permitted
yes,
already?
sir. We're currently in the process of getting our permits.
Okay, good. So this is so tangible. It's you said early, but I don't think it's early at all. I think you're going to wake up and it's just going to be there one of these days. We're listening to America's Healthiest City on ESPN Richmond 106.1. I would love it if you guys hopped over to americashealthiestcity.com. If you represent a business, a nonprofit, for an academic institution or a government agency, we're looking for you to join us as ambassadors. It doesn't cost anything, and we're only asking for you to put your strategic decisions through the filter, which asks, how will this decision make our community healthier? We'll help you tell your story, and we'll give you opportunities to connect with other folks in the community who are driving this cause forward. So please check out America's Healthiest City. Today in the studio, we have Alex and Sam Nordheimer from Padel Plant, a new facility that's coming into the Canal Walk here in just a few months. Gentlemen, in the few minutes we have left, I want to see if we can't pivot our conversation a little bit more toward to Richmond itself. And we struggle here a little bit. We've got some issues historically that we've had to work through and that we're still working through. Some of those being on the poverty side, some of them being on the health side. So we're thinking about health in Richmond from a social determinants perspective. What things have prevented people from being healthy, and that's going to be both infrastructure, it's going to be behavior. It's a lot of things that have to happen. So I know you guys are obviously visionaries, and so I'm welcoming your ideas for our ideas board. What are some things that you think Richmonders can do to get involved in this idea and to help us?
Yeah, I think the first thing that I think of is really trying to find your third place. It's a big city. There's lots of opportunity. And it's really important to make this connection with your community, with your friends, to meet new friends. So I think it's important to think, where is my third place? Where can I spend my time to interact with people? And this is where ideas come from. This is where a lot of really interesting things can happen, is the random conversation with someone new or bumping into someone on the street. So just ask yourself, where is my third place? Where can this be? And where can I spend my time to give to the city, to better the city, and to make everyone have a better and healthier experience?
Yeah. To that point, I think what we're doing is a particularly fun and exciting way to stay healthy and have fun with your friends. But as Alex said, there's a million different ways you can do it. And they range from being totally free to extremely expensive, and I think there's something for everyone depending on what you like and what's available to you. So I would just recommend that people go out and try new things. You never know what you're going to like until you try it. Alex and I had no idea we were going to be in this business till we happened to play paddle one day and fell in love. So I would really recommend that everyone go out there and try and get some new athletic hobbies and better themselves and find a community.
Well, I think those are sound ideas, and certainly post-pandemic, we're all isolated a little bit more than we used to be, and something's got to give to get us back to where we were. So I appreciate those ideas, and any others that come up as we wrap up our show. As we do wrap up, I do want to give you guys a chance to do one more thing for me, which is we always ask our guests if there's one or two people, since there's two of you today, who you've come across here in the community who you'd say are making a positive impact or outsized impact on Richmond community health. Any thoughts come to mind on that question?
Yeah, actually, I would say our friends Lee and John from Performance Pickleball have been a huge influence and support to us, and I think they're doing a great thing for the Richmond fitness and racket sports community. They're sort of leading the way, and we're happy to be following in their footsteps. I think they would be great people to have on the show.
I think it's pointed that you mentioned who others might think of as a competitor, but as you mentioned, there's going to be this surge of opportunity for people to get involved. You see that as a good thing, adding more people and bringing more people into the sport, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So we just want to build the biggest possible community of players, and if they play here sometimes, and if they play there sometimes, it's all okay. But it's really about growing the sport and introducing as many people as possible to the joys of pickleball and paddle.
Yep.
So with a couple of minutes left, how can folks find you out there? How can they get in touch? What's the best way to get?
Yeah, so please follow us on @PadelPlant on Instagram. That's PADELPLANT. You can also check out our website, padelplant.com. And yeah, just stay tuned, follow our journey. We're going to start posting a little more coming up as we begin to really drive the brand and create the community through that. So yeah, I'd just say to follow us on our journey.
And I think folks can see some of your concepts, architectural concepts on the website as well, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we got some renderings up on there. And yeah, you can get to know a little bit more about our backstory, our insight, and where we're coming from.
Great. Well, I've enjoyed this conversation. I know it's scary starting something new. I've done it a couple of times, but I will encourage you and tell you to keep going. I'm certain that this community's got your back, and we will have you in the studio again soon to get an update on how things are going. So can't wait for you to open up.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, pleasure, Will. Thank
you. Thank you for tuning in again to America's Healthiest City. We are going to be here next week at Thursday, 6 a.m. Please check us out on americashealthiestcity.com. Follow us on socials. And you can catch this full interview on YouTube as well. So hop over there and send it to your friends. Thank you. Catch you next time.